Hi, everybody. I'm here to give you a bit of a tales from the trenches following Roby's talk 2 sessions ago. I'm with Celertium. We build web and mobile apps for outstanding brands. Can everybody hear me okay? Great. Some of them are listed above. And we're, I guess, in that top 10% that cares about hearing what our users say. And one of the reasons for that might be this. I'm secretly a librarian. Prior to getting into tech, I used to run a research library a couple blocks away from here, actually, and it was member-driven. Oh, thanks, Rob. I'm usually behind a computer and not giving talks. So, I really care about being bold, sassy, and helpful, and really helping people find what it is that they're looking for, and combining that with software development has produced a really user, people-focused view of app development for us. So I'm assuming that you guys are here at MoDev, and specifically at my talk, because you care about what your people want, and your users, and you want to know when they're having a problem, and also you really want to hear when they want to tell you that you're awesome. And also, you, as the developer, might not want to be the only person talking to them. For app development, I really believe that this is just the start. When you hit on iOS or on Android and it says ready for sale, and you've come in time and you're on budget and you've got all of your features in, like, that's 1.0. That's really just the start of app development, at least for us. So where do you go from here? Well, with your app, sometimes you're just the indie developer, but for me, my team is typically this, and this might be one person and it might be 4 different people in the role, but I've also got all of these other people that I have to work for, primarily because we do a lot of work in hospitality, specifically with mobile and online ordering. So the list just kind of keeps growing, as you can see. And then we have all of these moving pieces and parts in our apps. And any of these, somebody has feedback on, somebody wants something, somebody has an agenda for, and whether that's somebody on my team or one of the people using the app, I really need to know everything about that in order to get past the 1.0 version of the app. So I really want to hear what people are saying, and I'm really proactive about finding it. And some of these have been touched on previously, different options for finding feedback. So in my experience, the column on the left is kind of hard. If you're lucky, you get people writing in on your corporate website and your contact form or your feedback, and then it's going directly for you, and you typically have methods in place of handling and responding and supporting people. There's iTunes and Google Play comments and your social media accounts, and they might even walk into the stores, because we're talking physical locations, and with technology, it's kind of important that the people on the ground know how to respond to questions. And that's kind of the easier stuff, but then it gets really, really hard. Beyond that, tracking down comments on press sites. I was really impressed. One of our website releases last month was for a conservation project, and somebody had criticized them on a press release, on a newspaper, and I saw like the head guy actually commenting back to the person and helping them out, but that had to have been hard for him to find. And then there's third-party rating sites that you may or may not have an account on. And then even scarier, like what if somebody writes a big long Medium post and is really criticizing you? And that can be really, really public. And are those things that A, you want out there in the world necessarily, and B, that you want to have to be spending a lot of time tracking down and then having a lot of back and forth with the customer trying to resolve things. So we tend to focus on in-app feedback and support, and we've got a couple of years doing this, and we've tried a variety of things and checked out different tools. And these are a lot of them. We tend to focus on the first item, the feedback form, but lots of other things that you can see up there. And just as important as the data coming in is, where's the rest of my team? And where can they be found? So yeah, they're on email, and sometimes the developers are in chat rooms, or my clients might have customer-focused help desks. And then we have our own systems that, like, if I'm going to do a fix for somebody, I would really love to have the code commit go against the issue so that I can track that in history. And then also there's the social media stuff. So we're all over there, and the users are all over here, and their data's coming in, and we're over here, and hopefully, I can kind of get the two to meet in the middle. So that's really the challenge, is finding and responding to all of that information, that really, really rich information that's out there, solving any problems that someone's having, turning them into a raving fan, but doing it in a way that doesn't really create a lot of extra work for us and for the customer, because there is the back and forth of, the 7 questions of, getting them to the point where you really want to know what everything they're doing and what's going wrong or what's going great, and then you can help them. And there can be back and forth with, 1 or more people, and you don't want to aggravate them, and you want to have everything that you need. But then also you want to take all of that rich data and then turn it around and use it to drive your 1.1 and 1.2 and 2.0 versions of your app, because that's how I stay in business. So this is, my tale of the trench of what we do and what we've found that works really well for us. And slight disclaimer, we built a product around it, which you can learn more about in another session later today. But so these are 2 of the things that we've done with some of our online ordering app. On the right, you can see there's basically, it's for a burrito chain out of Boston. We know you had a visit. How was it? It's kind of, reinforces their branding, and it's a little whimsical. And you can get some, we had 4-star, we had 5-star, and then underneath they can leave comments. And on the left, we have kind of a form-driven where they can select what type of feedback they want to give you. This chain breaks it down into more like yay and no, and I have a question, but other people do more like I have an app problem, I had a problem with my order. And then from there we can actually even drive it down further to say, was it at a specific location? Pick and tell us which one. And then we can have them given specific details for their issue. But I've kind of marked up the slide to show you that all of my team members come back and forth into having issues that, they get data off of this, and it's not just for one person, but everybody might be interested in different pieces and parts. So we have our users, and I have to call them users because everybody on my team are people. They do that, and then we find out that these are kind of some of the things they want to tell us, and often I get an I love you, and then it's followed by an hate you, but it kind of balances out, which is nice. But last night, on one of our apps, somebody said, hey, I really need to be able to order extra pickles on my burger. Can you build that into the app? And I was able to immediately write back and say, hey, good news. That's actually been in since the first build. All you have to do is double tap and you'll have access to it. So it's not always a matter of I have to develop something. Sometimes it's just I have to tell you something. So people want to know how to do things or what went wrong. And then we also get things that, surprise me, like I'll hear when a bathroom is dirty at a store. I don't need to know that, but, somebody at corporate or somebody at the store needs to know that. But that doesn't really need to come to me. And then also there's a lot of comparison between mobile online ordering apps and expectations that get set because, like you said, they're not just users, they are people, they have expectations. So this does this, why don't you? And it's an all-on opportunity to reach out and make fans for life. So in addition to the data that they're bringing in, we do a little bit of extra work to bring in helpful data so that we know if they're reaching out to us from an Android or a tablet or an iPhone. We can figure out what version of the app that they're on. Maybe it's just a matter of telling them to update. We know what version of their operating system. We actually caught an error earlier this week that was on a specific phone on an OS that we moved a fix out for. And then what's especially helpful for customer service is we'll pull in the recent order data so we know oh, you were at a store today and this is the store you were at and this is what you ordered, so it kind of helps speed up the dialogue. And then we forward it all out to different places and services that we use. If the service has email or webhook and can pull in data that way, it works really, really seamlessly for us, which also speeds up the process. And then the next thing we do is we really try hard to make everybody happy as fast as possible. So the feedback gets routed across the team, so I'm not answering all of it because I don't need to know when a bathroom is dirty. On some projects, we'll route by topic, so some users can self-select, and that can actually be really important because people don't always know how to self-select, but for an online ordering app, if you write, my order, and they had a problem with their order, they're probably going to pick that rather than, app question. And then all of the my order stuff can go off to, corporate support, and all the app questions can go to me and my team. And then we all work in our own systems, going back to this. I don't have to have I don't have to log into my customer systems to see their tickets, and they don't have to log into mine. And then at any time, all of our members, if they want to log in, they can get kind of a high-level view of all of the feedback that's coming in. And that's how, we found works well for us. So beyond regularly supporting our users and helping them out, we also regularly download all of the feedback, which is in a tabular form, and then we can aggregate it and see what's been happening over the last week, month, quarter, depending on how often we meet. And then we all get together to talk. And sometimes that's, just on an annual basis, just to see, touch base and see what's been happening. But some clients I meet monthly with them, and some it's quarterly. And it's all of these people in the room. And then we have to hammer out, what's the budget, what's up next, and what can we afford? And it's the roadmap. And from there, it's like there's always corporate goals. Maybe they want to figure out a way to increase the size of the order, or something very, very corporate focused. But anybody who works for the company, their bosses give them jobs and goals that they're supposed to do. So they have specific things that they want to see happening in the app. And so they kind of come at the meeting from this. But then we bring in all of that aggregated data, and it actually often surprisingly turns the corner into more exciting development opportunities that go back and support the first two, but just it drives more along the lines for the users, and then we pick up more users, which tends to meet the corporate goals. So we frequently find that little download all to CSV is really what gets us on the way to building a successful new iterations of the apps and gaining more users. And then after that, we've built out the new features, but because we've all had personal contact with the customers, and we've set up relationships with them, we can easily, casually ping them back and say, hey, that thing that you wanted, we just built it. And maybe they, had dropped the app, and maybe now they go pick it up and they're excited to use it again. And it's just an opportunity to reinforce that, we're good people, and, we're listening to them, and we want to help them and give them what they want. So then everybody is happy. It's not just the users being happy at the expense of marketing or corporate IT. Training knows what they have to, train the front of house and back of house on, and we know what we have to build, and everybody's on the same page. It can actually be really hard to pull together in an app setting, which I'm sure you all know. So that's my tale from the trench. Sorry I went pretty quick, but I'm trying to get us back on. And if you want to learn more about the technical implementation for how we do it, you can see that guy. And he'll be giving a talk at 11 on how we integrate our product, Appigram, to do all of the routing and stuff. Or track me down. I'll be around today. I'm on Twitter. And I love, love, love talking about user feedback and support. And I'd love to help you get on your way with it. That's it.